My family had always eaten fairly healthily, but I was traveling in India in 1965. I got a really bad case of hepatitis and dysentery together. Thought I was going to die. I was really scared. And a diet of just flatbread, unleavened whole wheat flatbread and unsweetened tea got me back on my feet. That triggered my interest in macrobiotics. And I got into the macrobiotic diet in 1965, later in that year, and it was transformative for me. So when I opened a macrobiotic restaurant in London in February of '67, it was the platform for whole grains, lots of vegetables, and organic. And macrobiotics has always been a total commitment to organic, so it was just part of the overall picture. Probably the biggest challenge was we had quite a thriving peanut butter business under the Whole Earth brand. Sun-Pat got taken over by Nestle. They didn't really understand where Whole Earth fit in the marketplace. They spent $7 million launching a product called Whole Nut that looked like ours, that used palm oil instead of hydrogenated fat as a stabilizer, and they really came after us six guns blazing. Luckily, it didn't go anywhere, and the product was discontinued a few years later, but it showed the strength of the brand and the commitment that people have to an ethical brand. I had some cash flow problems in the early '80s that were a significant challenge. We had a £3 million business that was losing money, and I cut it down to a £700,000 business that was making money, and then that was the platform for really rebuilding the Whole Earth brand. I think probably one of our biggest celebrations, my brother and I drove through the night to the south of France to talk to the only person in the world who was growing organic rice in 1970, and he agreed to supply us. That gave us the keystone product for our range. So we had organic rice, millet, buckwheat, aduki beans, miso, tamari. These were foods that nobody had heard of before. We were weird at the time. Now, you can get miso soup on every street corner. But so that was kind of crucial, because with organic brown rice, we were the go-to people to buy from. Green and Blacks, with Maya Gold, we got the fair trade mark because we were doing what they wanted to see people do. We were the first product that had the fair trade mark. So we had all the supporters of the Fair Trade Foundation, Women's Institutes, Catholic Fund for Overseas Development, World Development Movement, Young Methodists, Christian Aid, Oxfam, all throwing their weight behind this little brand because it had the Fair Trade mark on it. And Green and Blacks would have done well anyway because it was delicious chocolate, but that really helped to get it to an audience who probably it was the first organic product they'd ever actually had, and that brought them into the organic fold. They realized it wasn't scary and it didn't taste funny, which sometimes there's a lot of prejudice in the early days. If you eat meat, just eat less. If you're worried about the cost of organic, eat less and you find it won't do you any harm. One of the things that's going to happen when carbon pricing comes in is non-organic meat is going to get more expensive and organic meat will get cheaper. So then the price barrier isn't there. And that's the only reason. So just eat less. It won't do your health any harm. If you're vegan, you're probably eating organic anyway because it's part of your ethical foundations.